Hello there, my name is Miles Pitcher. Thanks for checking out this video. So today I'm going to throw out there my 2024 predictions. I'm also going to pull in some data, charts, info, and predictions from people who I consider to be expert forecasters, and I'll share with you what they say. Uh, I am no expert forecaster. I just form my opinion based on what I hear these people that I follow on what they say about what's going to happen in the coming year. But I want to share that with you today. So we're going to jump into this. So first, let's look at 2023. I will first admit that I have been wrong in my rate predictions for the last 2 years. I thought rates would move up as they did, but then they would quickly be brought back down. Well, it's been almost 2 years and rates have not come back down. So one of the things that we heard in 2023 was, oh, home prices are falling. And in fact, the media said the median home price is falling. The median home price just represents the middle of all transactions, right? Half the transactions were higher than that amount and half were lower. It doesn't reflect any appreciation or depreciation in the home values. The fact is, during 2023, homes on average across the country appreciated 7%. And you can see the month to month in these different indexes that measure and follow the home price increase. Here's a quote that says the same thing from a chief economist at CoreLogic, that home prices have gone up 7%. And this one I love is they are 1% higher and have recovered all the losses that happened in 2022 in the second half. So here's a chart of what happened in 2023 on your rates. You can see the start of the year all the way through the end of the year. It says that the fixed rate mortgage on the 30-year ended at 6.62. We're quite a bit lower than that. That's one of the advantages of working with a mortgage broker like myself, is we get lower rates than that. We're a bit lower, but in 2023, we thought inflation would come down. Yes, it did. And that was great. Has it reached the goal, the target of our Federal Reserve chair? No, not yet, which their goal is to get it down to 2% core PCE is the measure that they follow. Rates went up. Some people experienced 8% rates. We just got up into the sevens because we're brokers. That was kind of brutal. And you can see in the chart the peak there. The one thing that we expected that didn't happen was we expected the Federal Reserve to start tapering, leveling off on what they were doing once inflation started showing signs it was coming down. Well, the fact is they didn't, and they kept doing raises during 2023, and then they held steady. So unemployment was the big thing that we expected that would move or have them pivot. For the year, and I spelled that word wrong, for the year, it really was kind of sideways. It didn't show that the unemployment rate was moving up significantly. The other thing we saw, a continuation from 2022, was frozen homeowners, people who have low interest rates, lots of equity in their home, and they're locked in there. They're not moving in. Some people call a lock-in rate. They're locked in. You can see how many people have rates under 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. And this chart, I like. This is FHFA or Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae, looking at those ranges and seeing that people in the 4 to 5 range may start thinking about selling, but anything below 4%, they're not moving. So here's my predictions for 2024. Where will rates go? Will home values come down? Is there going to be a recession? Will it be a good year to buy a home? So first, we're going to talk about the Federal Reserve, their pivot, their change. We've been waiting for them to witness the slowdown in the economy, right? Inflation coming down, getting things under control there. And we believe they're watching closely what the unemployment rate is doing and GDP. This is how they measure inflation. It's called the core personal consumption expenditure chart. And you can see in here how the forecast, and it's showing that it's going to start coming down beginning of this year, we believe. It already has made significant improvements, and that's great. We think it's going to keep coming and will continue to hit the target of the Federal Reserve. This chart, let me make this bigger because you may ask, Miles, how do you know what the Federal Reserve is thinking? So this is a poll of all the members of the Federal Reserve, voting members, on what they think is going to happen over the next few years. You can see at the end of 2023, they've reached kind of their highest level at 5.4%. And then each dot represents a vote from one of the members. And they're saying in 2024, they believe where the federal funds rate is going to go. And you can see the red dot represents the median of all them. And you can see where it's going 25, 26 in the longer run. So you can see where they're thinking. Some are thinking much lower and some are thinking much higher. But all signs are indicating that the Federal Reserve is going to start lowering sometime in 2024, having to cut the federal funds rate. And I want you to remember that the federal funds rate is not exactly tied to mortgage rates. So my prediction is there's going to be 3 times lowering during the year, 25 basis points each, for a total of 75 basis points. Now, mortgage rates, where will they go? I believe that rates are going to keep coming down. They've started coming down at the end of 23. I believe that the lower inflation will help. I believe that the election year will help. I also believe that unemployment is going to continue to rise and get higher and higher. And I believe in 2024, we're going to have a recession. Not a massive recession. I believe it will be an industry-specific recession, maybe like in the finance area, the banking industry. But all of those items will contribute to interest rates coming down. I personally believe that they're going to be in a range of 5 to 5.5 for 2024. All right, home values. So this is a group that's polled every year, and they were a little low on their 2023. They said 5.92. It's really going to come in at 7%. But they believe that home appreciation next year will be at 2.35. Other experts are saying 2.5%. Here's another chart that gives you a longer look out, and it divides this by the optimistic quarter of the people who did the survey and the pessimistic. And these are all expert forecasters going into this expectation of home values. And they're looking out from 2023 quarter 4 through 5 years down the road to 2028. But you can see where they think things are going to go on home values. Kind of good to see down the road. I believe that next year, for a few reasons, home appreciation is going to be around 4%. I think the forecasters, and they have been historically conservative in their numbers, I think will be around 4%. I'll give you some of the reasons here in a bit additional to that, but the lower rates will help with this. So we showed you this chart a few minutes ago, but I believe that as rates come down to the lower fives, we're going to start getting access to these sellers who have current rates of 4 to 5%. They're going to sell, they're going to buy something. They've been holding off on doing that. That's only going to be a part of the market. I think the other activity during the year is going to be in our seniors or 55 and older area. You can see in this chart that those who have moved at least 100 miles are 55 and older people. The reasons they're doing it is they want to get closer to their family and friends or retirement. Those are major reasons. We see these people downsizing on their homes. They have lots of equity, and so they're selling and either getting a small mortgage or buying in cash on their next home. So my prediction for 2024 is, I call this the silver tsunami. That's going to continue where the 55 and older are selling their homes. And then first-time home buyers continue to be a driver in the market. Uh, those who are locked in or frozen in their home ownership, I don't think rates are going to get low enough to unlock or unfreeze those people in 2024. I think it's going to take another year on those. This quote right here from Lance Lambert really echoes what I just said, that the lock-in effect may be at its peak. He believes that there may be a boost at the end of the year, but our low inventory is going to be affected by this. And so I believe next year, 2024, our inventory is going to be totally still restricted and low because there's going to be such a huge chunk of homeowners who are staying put. They have interest rates at 4% or below. New construction will continue to be a huge part of the market. If you look at this stat right here, 31% of total homes for sale in November were new construction. Historical average is 12%. Because of the low inventory from existing homeowners, new construction is going to have another great year, in my opinion. However, home builders are not building fast enough to keep up with the demand. Therefore, because of lower inventory, not enough new construction happening, and better interest rates, that's why I believe the home appreciation will be 4%. Let me know what you think, right? Give me your predictions in the comment. I may be totally wrong in all this. And so please feel free to throw out what your ideas are or where you disagree with me on these predictions. I appreciate you watching the video. Here are some of the wild cards that I think could happen and really shake things up. We have the election year, quantitative tightening. So during the COVID years, the Federal Reserve was were buying mortgages, and that was called quantitative easing. Easing. And what that did was it really brought down the interest rates. Now we're on the other side of that, where the Federal Reserve is selling off all those mortgages that they had purchased. That's called quantitative tightening. If they stop selling off what's on their balance sheet right now, the mortgages, that's going to help improve rates. Obviously, we've talked about recession. War is a big unknown on what's going to happen. I put pirates here because at the end of 2023 right now, we have pirates who are causing troubles in the shipping lanes on all the oil. That has caused oil prices to start moving up again. That's an inflationary cause that really may throw a wrench into the inflation coming back down where we need it. The other thing I've seen is with uncertainty, potential recession, as people start hearing about this, you'll see people start tightening up on their spending, and that helps bring inflation down. But it's just an interesting thing watching the consumer starting to tighten up on what they're spending. Black swan, this refers to an event that could affect things, good or bad, that we have no idea. It's going to come totally out of left field, and there could very well have something happen in there. Those are my wild cards. So if you're thinking of buying a home in 2024, man, please reach out. We'd love to help you get ready for that, talk to you about it. Here's how you can get a hold of me and my team. Thanks for watching this video.